Greetings, salvete. My name is Abraham Callahan. I am the Latin and U.S. history teacher here at Providence Catholic School. Welcome. I would like to give you a brief presentation and a quick overview of what goes on in these classes. Allow me to set this up in this new age of synchronous and asynchronous learning, so the students will view these things remotely as you are seeing here. So once again, welcome and salvete. A little bit about myself first. I am new to Providence. I started off as a part-time Latin teacher and was offered the position of taking up the U.S. history classes just this last week here at the end of September. And so I'm very delighted to be a part of Providence. Everyone has been so welcoming and so friendly and so sweet to me, from the administrators and teachers all the way to the students. This is a lovely community, and I hope that I can get to meet you all soon. So I have, this is my 9th year teaching humanities courses. I have taught both the classics, and I also have experience teaching social studies, primarily with world history, but that includes, of course, American history. But American history is much more in depth. So you see a picture of me and my little family with my wife and our little dog named Fuji, and we are a very happy bunch. So if you were to walk into my Latin class at the beginning, you would see something like this. And so what I try to do is, because we're all over the place, and I know I've got students in person and then also at home, or maybe even in a foreign country, who knows? It's just, we're coming through the internet, and it's a little difficult to create that camaraderie in this new environment. So what I have done is I've asked the students to provide me school appropriate music, which when they come in, they start working on their warm-up work. So for instance, in Latin, that has been doing some Duolingo exercises, and I will play a song from what I call Radio Latin 1 or what have you, and I play it at a nice gentle volume just so that we can experience each other in a neat way. We always begin with prayer, and in Latin we say the Pater Noster every day. And I, after doing some grammar work with the students, what I call the push-ups, I will have the students go to the neat cultural elements of things. And so, for instance, at the start of the year, I had the students analyze some Aesop's fables and recreate them through a neat application called Flipgrid. So if you've got your QR code reader, you can see some of the work that our Latin 2s did. They are very well done, and they are quite funny. And I invite you to go ahead and take that QR code. But in the interest of time, I'm going to keep us moving in 3, 2, 1. You see, I keep the pace in the same way as the class here. So in American history, I've been here for a week in this position, and so we're all recalibrating, figuring out where to go from here. And so since it was such a monumental week, we had our first presidential debate, I decided that we would focus on current events and the backgrounds to the current events. And what I like to tell the students is that when you've got Columbus in 1492, I tell them, and this is my opinion, that's where history stops. And in fact, that's where current events begin. And we just happen to be in the 500th year of current events. And so I walk the students through this. And so I want them to become politically understanding of the nature of the environment around here. And I thought to start them all off with a commonly used rubric of political assessment. I called this Intro to Political Theory with the Political Compass. I did not have the students take the test if they didn't want to, but it was a way, if they did want to take it, they could place themselves and begin to get a sense of the geography of our political language. Not so much to, press one thing or another, but to know it, to know what left and right means, and to know what authoritarian and libertarian means. And I just want them to be familiar with the language. And so I also went through the speech of our presidential candidates, and I took some, not all of the historical events that were talked about, and I went through every single one with the students and talked about, in quick summary, what some of the major events were, some of the major ideologies, the origins of this left and right discussion in the French Revolution, some major legislation that created things like the Federal Reserve or the World Bank, other big events like the Great Depression or the Great Recession. And I went through all of this stuff, and it was heavy. It was a cognitive overload. And then I could see the students, that some of them, when I was saying, not only do you need to know all of that, you need to know all of that in foreign countries as well. So you need to know what's going on in the Russian Federation with Vladimir Putin, and then also the People's Republic of China with Xi Jinping. And it was so funny. They could see, they're like, oh my goodness. So I wanted to go through this stuff with them, not so much to get into the, the controversial issues within the debates. That's for another day. But to talk about the landscape of what's going on. And it's not enough to know what's going on right now. You've got to know the past in order to be conversant and literate of the things that are happening right now. So I do hope that I will get the chance to meet you in person at some point in time, and if not in person, digitally. And please feel free to reach out to me. You can find my information on the Providence website, and I hope to meet you soon. Welcome.